All right, folks, this one is the story about our new deck. Greetings, loved ones, and welcome back to my channel. Oh my god, it has been so long since I last vlogged. I am feeling renewed spring energy right now. I know for some of you, at least in the south of the US, it's probably just summer, but it is definitely spring here. It has been raining on and off. We've been having like 60 to 50 degree days, and then randomly like today, 80 degree days. I mean, honey, I am live, laugh, loving life over here with the weather. Just like the variation and how beautiful it is right now because it all finally leafed out, all of the trees. And I just feel like every morning, especially since Finley put in this new deck for us, I'm able to like come out here and just connect with nature, have my bird song moment like you guys will hear throughout this video, and just really enjoy all that Vermont has to offer. Because everybody sort of hibernates over the winter here and then they thaw in the spring. And in May, it's like baby birthday parties, meetings, events, left and right. And I have just been running around like a little chicken with my head cut off. Why do we say that? You know when you say stuff and you just go, who even started this? Anyway, I have a lot to catch you up on, needless to say. I have not vlogged since end of January, early February, when it was still very snowy here, but I've just been putting up like renovation videos and cleaning videos and stuff like that in the meantime. So I have lots of things to talk about today, about our lives as well as our house and all of the things. But let's start on the most obvious note, which is talking about this dang deck. All right, so when I'm filming this, it is the last few days of May, and my daughter actually just turned 2 this past weekend, over Memorial Day weekend. I'm wearing my mama birthday party dog shirt. God, I love an Etsy find. The back of it says, "To let the dogs out." Who? And it's sort of like a memory shirt, you know? And also, I just don't have a lot of red shirts, so that's why I got this color, and it's comfy, and it's fitting my bump all nicely. I am 7 months pregnant when I'm filming this video, and hosting a birthday party while 7 months pregnant is not for the weak, okay? I truly felt like I had been hit by a truck the day after her party, but everything went off, I would say without a hitch, but all of the hitches were the week of, you know, and leading up to the party. The party was fantastic, but oh my God, did we have a lot on our plates. So let me go back in time to the weekend before her birthday party. Finley ripped all of the wallpaper off of our bathroom walls, and I filmed a video for Patreon where I basically went through all of the things that are wrong with our bathroom renovation, which the reason you guys haven't seen on YouTube is because I'm still editing that dang video. But basically our major faux pas was using peel and stick wallpaper in that bathroom renovation. So it was failing from the day that we put it up, because there's a shower in there and it's humid and it just was always rippling and peeling off the walls. So a week before her party, Finley ripped all the wallpaper down and he was like, I just want to paint. My mom's coming into town. She's an artiste. She can put a little spin on things. We can paint it just like the base color. We like color matched the wallpaper. And then we wanted to have his mom come into town and add some design things. And I was like, okay, so our bathroom is in a state. It looks like the drywall needs to be patched. There are like, you know, pieces of the primer paint that had ripped off the walls. We had to take out all of our hardware, all of our towel racks, all of the things to all prep for painting. And that was already like a big enough project that was sort of looming as a thing we wanted to get done before the party. And then Monday rolls around and Finley was like, so I think that I might demolish the front porch entryway. It just really has been bugging me, and you know, I want to get this garden in for you, because he's really on about making my dream garden for me this summer so I can enjoy it postpartum, because our baby boy is due in August. So he's been trying to figure out terraforming and regrading the land and all of these things to put in like a kitchen garden outside of this door, because our kitchen is right on the other side of the door. And so I'll have access to all of that, right? But the front porch that was here before was failing from the day that we moved in. It was just really shoddily put together. It just really, on our inspection report, was highlighted like, this cannot be a permanent structure. You should just tear it down and replace it. So we always knew we wanted to do that, but we wanted the front porch to be designed to go into the garden. Our staircase used to go out over here, but like designing the staircase where you could enter out into this lovely future kitchen garden area. And on Monday, he said he was going to start demolition, and I was like, honey, let's pump the brakes, okay? We need to just focus on the bathroom. Let's paint the bathroom, get the towel racks back up and all of the things. And he was like, I can do the bathroom at any point, but we're about to do so much exterior work on this house during the nice summer months. Like, summer is only so long here. He really wanted to take advantage of the nice weather that we were having and just do exterior work and then work on the bathroom, like ideally at night after V went to sleep, like painting and sanding and patching drywall and all those things. And I was like, you know what? I'm putting my hands up. Like, this is just what I do oftentimes, where I go, hey, I'm not the one doing the work. Feel free to do whatever you want, actually, but just be done by her birthday party on Saturday. Because keep in mind, this was freaking Monday, brothers, okay? I'm like, what do you have, 6 days to complete the demolition of an entire porch and rebuild a new one alone? Okay, so in my head, I'm just like, make it make sense. Like, these men and their ambitions and their projects. But this was his thing. When else am I going to do it? Because I'm filming this on a Tuesday? Yeah. And on Thursday, we're having our friends come into town to stay with us for a month. They own a siding company, and they are going to be helping us re-side our entire house. Replacing doors, replacing windows. We're gonna move our front door. Everything is about to start happening. So he was like, I'm not gonna have time to build a new deck when they get here. Like, our buddies are just gonna wanna lock in on this project, right? And teach Finley how to do it. He's never sided a house before. Oh my God, I'm sure you're hearing me talk about this and you're going, Megan, you got a lot going on. Honey, this isn't even like remotely all of the things that have been happening, okay? Also, another piece of this puzzle is that Finley is currently out of town for all of today and all of tomorrow. So he gets in very late night, Wednesday night, and then Thursday is when the siding stuff happens. But he's in New York with his family right now. After the birthday party shenanigans, they went there, he took the Amtrak, he had to leave really early this morning. So he was like, Tuesday and Wednesday I'm gonna be out of town, I won't have time to do the deck. Like, I just have to finish it before this freaking party. I said, okay, you know what, then you should just get to work, hon. And this isn't the final product, by the way. There are going to be rails, and there are going to be handrails for the stairs as well, and treads. But he just wanted to get it to a state for the birthday party where people could at least get inside of our front door, because he literally, not to spoil things for you, but was putting in the last boards leading up to crossing the threshold as people were arriving at our house for the party. So it was really cutthroat. Last minute. He was like sprinting between the basement to get stuff from his workshop. He was truly in such a rush. It was like a panic build. But one thing that we're both really grateful about is that even though he was panic building this, he also didn't cut corners in the way of like not doing things up to code or not doing things. I mean, obviously we don't have a rail right now, but you know what I mean. Like, he was following all of the steps of the construction that he wanted to do. And the railing, we're actually talking about doing some fun, funky things, like maybe some bench seating up here. We'll see where the project goes, but at least we wanted people to be able to enter our home. So accomplished that. And so the renovation part of this reno vlog is going to be the demolition and construction of a new deck in 6 days.
What follows is a brief construction montage.
So, you know, I'm a young man with a new family, trying to find my traditions. Happy to say I think I've landed on one here. Last year, before Corvidia's first birthday, I was putting in this bathroom over here, and just absolute chaos, crisis mode at the end, needing to call all the friends I could, get all the help I could to finally get things over the line for the party. And guess what? I'm right there again. So I cleared off our deck and I'm about to rip that down, so that should be pretty fun. And then I just moved all our plants. I kind of repotted some stuff. All these bigger pots are the berry bushes. Those are 2 willow trees, pussy willows, and then a bunch of other random stuff. So this should get us started once we got somewhere to plant it.
We're gonna watch from the nosebleeds over here. Watch the deck demolishing. Demolishment?
I don't think that's a word.
She took my sunglasses off.
Oof. Such a good stretch. Love you. So I've been thinking a little bit, and I got a wife and I love her. I'm going to just unscrew all the screws first without filming for 2 hours, and then I'll turn the camera on and try to take it apart a lot faster.
Thank you.
That's kind of step one. I got some more screws to get to now and some other stuff, so just keep taking it down. Sorry, I forgot to show me knocking off the steps. That was pretty easy. This thing that I used to swap my car tires is honestly working great so far for pulling out these little bolts. But first I want to get these top deck boards off. I really had that one coming. It's not really a good job for tactical flops, honestly, even for my standard. And when I sprung this board up, my foot was right here. A nail was at the edge, so it came up, and then when it slapped back down, it stuck the nail into my big toe, and then like had me locked there, so I had to lift it back up to get my foot out, but it didn't look too bad. I normally wouldn't do this, but it is actually pretty relevant, and I was just about to clean things up again and thought maybe I should mention how I handle this stuff. Obviously injuries happen all the time when you're doing this. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just when, not if. Obviously you can reduce risk through PPE, careful practice, that kind of stuff, but inevitably something's gonna go wrong somewhere. You're gonna get hurt. Hopefully it's just something small that you can keep working through. For instance, I was filming when I put the nail through my toe, not yesterday, but the day before that. That happened kind of around noon or something like that, and I was able to work for the rest of that day. Had a good amount of pain that night, but then was able to work through the next day. Now today, feeling pretty good, can keep working through it. A big reason for that is because I did a good enough job at cleaning the wound, making sure it didn't get any sort of infection, and not re-aggravating it to a tremendous degree, even though I was being fairly abusive towards it. When I get that wound right away, wrap up what I'm doing to the best of my ability, go inside, put my foot under the tub faucet. I probably did that for like a minute or two because you're a little shook up too. Once you get a wound and it's actively bleeding, you need to stop the bleeding, which happens through multiple ways. Stop aggravating the site is one, and then applying pressure is the second major one. There's other things as well, like elevation, etc. But for what I'm talking about, it's really just getting pressure on that wound so it can clot properly. So you really need a Band-Aid, a breathable one, unless you really need it to be waterproof, and then try to put that on in a way where it's keeping pressure and tight. If you're just chilling, doing a hobby project on the weekend, maybe just take the rest of the day off. But I was kind of stressed out about stuff, needing to get it done, so I needed to keep working. It gets a little awkward with a foot injury because then you can't really wear a shoe and stuff like that. But anyways, my point being, I took some tape and wrapped my toe in that, just 2 wraps, not a ton. And that just helped prevent any dirt or anything else from getting underneath the Band-Aid. I was able to work the whole rest of the day. When I took that off at the end of the night, everything looked good. I went, got in the shower, and then once I got out of the shower, this is kind of the last thing I want to go over. I have this other Neosporin. It's very solid feeling. It's extremely viscous. You can kind of like pack a wound with it. So getting out of the shower, put that in and all around the wound. I won't cover the wound. I won't put a Band-Aid or anything else on it. You know, it's not bleeding or anything. Slept the night like that, take a Tylenol. You're good to go in the morning. A little bit of pain, redid the Neosporin stuff, because wounds heal faster and better when they can breathe and are open. That increases the risk of infection, which is a major concern. It's all give and take with these things. I'm also not, you know, I did an EMT course a long time ago. I'm not a doctor. You know, there's people who can give you better advice on this stuff, but this is what's worked for me. Wound cleanliness is the most important thing, because if you mess that up, it's like extremely deadly. We used to die all the time from that stuff. And even in the modern world, sepsis is deadly. If you get an infection and don't deal with it for long enough and it gets into your blood or something like that, it can still kill you today. That's a situation where that can actually become a little dangerous. So I was super stoked that I put the nail through my toe and then was able to work through the rest of the day, and I've been able to work nonstop since. Sometimes I do that white knuckling and it's miserable, but I just do it anyways. This has actually been pretty manageable, so I must have done something right. So I thought I'd share that. Forgot to film this a little bit. I think I'm just gonna try to yank these off, throw them in a pile, and call it for the night. I forgot to say, and I wish I filmed this, which you can see from the deck like normally. I don't know why I never like realized how bad the construction was. It was constructed in a way with a lack of care, a fly by the seat of your pants lightness that I envy. You know, truly. I am a slave to pride in my work.
Day 2.
I don't think I'm gonna film this stuff because it's about to start raining.
What's up? Nothing much. Just let my gut out.
But I did want to show how not to set a post. That's a great example.
There's nothing in there. No concrete or anything.
It's like 6 inches into the dirt. It's pretty hilarious, honestly. All right.
I've been walking on this for years.
So it's this stuff that makes me borderline nervous. I wasn't exaggerating. Said 7 inches into the ground in Vermont, which obviously has a lot of freeze and thaw. And these things are supposed to be filled with concrete, which adds weight and strength and is vital to how these things function. I literally at the store bought concrete grinding wheels and stuff because I thought I might have to cut these at ground level depending on how hard they'd be to get out, which just goes to show you how overly generous I am to the prior owner. Even for the internet, it's kind of comically bad. You know, you're not gonna see it done worse than that. Pretty amazing deck. I wish I had a little more time to like go through some. I also don't know deck framing that well, but even without knowing it well, there were some very obvious mistakes. So that's always a joy. Anyways, rain's picking up, so. Oh, I did want to show this though. So just to kind of show y'all, I was denailing all the better wood that I pulled that obviously I can't use this for anything particularly finished grade, but I just like to keep all this stuff because honestly, I end up using it all. It's incredibly useful. In worst case, I'll make a big ass bonfire, which is also awesome. So I'm moving this pad here. To do it, I put the teeth back on the tractor bucket. Really not a fan of these, by the way. I wouldn't recommend them. I'd get the flat sawtooth ones that let you back drag easier. So my goal is to lift it up and somehow drag it over this way. All right, so it's pretty hard to move. I can only really push it, and I could probably drag it if I hitch it to the back of my tractor. I don't want to waste a lot of time on this, so that's a problem. So I'm trying to think of the best thing to do to just get this done with.
Day 3.
This is all like really important stuff, grading this all properly. I really don't want water going back towards my foundation. I mean, it's not done right anyways over here, so it's not the end of the world, but like, the point is to be fixing things. So this is sandy fill. You actually really want a slope of more regular fill dirt or something that has like a better surface to it that'll slick off rain better, because sandy fill really drains it down well. So if you have a ton of sandy fill next to your foundation, that can drain water directly where you don't want it, basically. So try to have a slope of something that you can compact that'll shed water, like just regular, you know, more muddy dirt. You can put sandy fill over that, which is what I did here. I'm just gonna keep adding that up because I want this to just be a slope out. So I don't know how I'm doing yet. Just barely sloped. So that's great to know. That's super helpful. That means I need to definitely bring some more dirt out here. Really, I want the slope kind of out this way. So let's see how we're doing in this direction. We've got about the degree I want here, so that's great. So I just need to get this better. Push this concrete pad more out of the way. It's really heavy. It's hard for me to move. Deck's gonna come out to about right here. So I think we're just gonna push the concrete pad like right here, and then we'll have our compost situation directly off the deck where you can easily put stuff in here next to the kitchen garden, all that stuff. I can easily flip it with the tractor. My concern was the electrical box and all that, so I just want to get it over a little bit. But yeah, okay, so I just need to get this graded out. I've done a ton of pulling this way. I feel good about the grade. Now I'm just doing some back dragging the easy way to try to get it as smooth as possible.
It's like those people at the baseball games that run out to get it all nice and situated.
All right, I've cut the slot for my ledger board, but I'm probably not gonna install that now. I built my deck in SketchUp, really useful program, and I drew out my measurements for where I need to set my pillars and stuff, and I'm trying to figure out how to do that best. So I set my center mark over here, I put a nail in. This is dropped 4 inches from the entryway, so any rain and whatnot, even in a bad storm, it's gonna butt up against the wall. So now one thing is I don't wanna lose this. The spray paint doesn't hold well on the sand at all, so I'll probably just pound something lightly to mark my spots there. I have the tractor parked over where I want the stair pillars. I'm still kind of thinking this through. One thing with heavy machinery is it's really difficult to change implements and stuff. And like this backhoe is a real pain in the ass to get on and off. So it's like I have a back rake and I have a post hole digger, but to take this backhoe off and swap, I know I want the backhoe back on. So it's like it takes so long to do that. I'd rather just dig the hole with the backhoe at that point, unless I was doing like 10 post holes or something. I'm also using these Bigfoots. These don't really work with the post hole digger. I'm only doing these on the 2 corner posts. This hole's now big enough to take one of these things. So let's see how deep this hole is. Wow, that's actually 4 feet. That's crazy. So I'm gonna go get some of my wash stone here. Drop that in the bottom for good drainage.
Couple of ditches, nothing to worry about.
I got some high quality landscaping fabric from the internet. So I'm gonna line this bottom because I'm gonna put some gravel in there. So I was actually supposed to connect the tube first because I'm supposed to put some screws in it to connect it to the plastic down there. I wanted to fill some rock in there because it's cheaper than concrete, so I didn't want to fill the whole thing with concrete. Point is to give a wider base, so pulling up is, would be a lot harder. So anyways, I gotta go get some screws and look at this. So I have this double level system set up to try to mark where I want to cut this. I decided to take a more sophisticated approach. So that's really sexy. Some string, I love it.
Day 4.
All right, things are looking pretty good. So this one that I did correctly really worked out nicely. This one, not as much. I still need to mess with this. I told you, move. You idiot. That's actually working pretty well. This is why doing things the right way is so much better, because I could have just done this string stuff from the start. Everything would have been so much easier, but I didn't. So I'm also realizing I didn't film any of this because it was late last night, I'm pretty sure. There's these nifty little bubble levels that you put on string, and I had one from the previous owner and I had no idea what it was, and I was like, man, what a useless level. Like, I don't know where I would need a level this tiny, but I guess maybe there's a use case. Sure enough, I did need it for something. Probably needed a lot more, so I'm glad to have it. So you just clip it onto these strings. It's ultra light, so it doesn't manipulate them too much. So that allows me to get this horizontal string actually at a level height so that I can get my sonotube and bolt height at the right height so that my deck isn't at a weird slant, because I followed the grade of the ground rather than the grade of gravity. I won't film the other one too, but I'm just filling these in, tamping them down. I'm just gonna be filling these holes with dirt, putting a little more gravel down the tubes just to fill the Bigfoots out a bit so I don't have to fill them purely with concrete. I've got a good amount of rock filling that. The reason I'm doing that is because concrete sucks to buy. I hate buying concrete. It's not as bad as buying plywood and not as bad as drywall, but it's horrible. Buying stone is awesome. I call my guy, I get to watch a dump truck show up and dump a bunch of stone. It's a blast. And then moving it is a blast. I get to turn on my tractor and pick up stone and move it. So, there's a lot of joy in that process. My point being that I'm trying to minimize the concrete use. So put a bunch of stone in the bottom, tried to fill it like less than half. I mean, the point is to fill the bottom with concrete so that there's this splayed out concrete foot that is heavy and resists any upheaving. That's how it looks in both of these. Now, I'm just gonna pack these full of dirt. I'll probably just hand shovel it in, tamp it a few times as I'm coming up. Make sure that my tube is in the direction I want it to be as I'm tamping. And then I'll film when I'm ready to pour the concrete in, because that's basically the next step. Okay, so believe it or not, I'm finally ready to start the concrete. I'm gonna mix 2 bags at a time, because I'm pretty sure it's gonna take at least 2 bags and probably more than that. And I want to maybe be able to maneuver this thing a little bit, but for the most part I'm just going to slowly shovel it in with this. I want to be pretty precise here. If you're curious, it took 2. Okay, so here's the finished product. It isn't perfectly centered to the post, but it's good enough. So this one I've already filled most of the way, and now I just am mixing like half a bag or so to try to top it off, and I'll show you my process here. Okay, now we're in the territory of Finley. Finley has no idea what he's doing, so this was my little plan, because I didn't want to get anything else I had with the straight edge dirty. I'm doing this standing on 1 foot, which is nothing to scoff at. And then what I did last time, and this is what I'm saying, I never seen nobody doing this way. I just take my hand, give it a little pet. I love you, concrete. I don't care that you threw my back out and took 10 years off my life for being so stupidly heavy. I love you all the same, concrete. So these things are really nifty. You can buy the cheapest one with the minimal things that it does, and it'll still be totally worth it. Got them perfect. They're exactly in the right place. They're exactly the right height. They're perfectly level with each other. What did I learn in this process? I learned 2 things. It's harder than you expect. The second lesson I learned is a little more interesting and important for me. When I was younger and less experienced, which I still am young and inexperienced, I would research and try to plan everything ahead and try to understand the full scope of my project and all the steps before I started, so I make all the best decisions from the get-go, set myself up for success. I'm thinking about when I was building a tiny house, which is kind of the first larger project that I attempted. Spending months researching tiny house construction before even framing a floor and getting a floor finished or something like that. Now I have so much more confidence and so much less time. So right now I knew I had to do this now if it's ever gonna get done for this growing season, whatever. I knew I had to do this now if it was to fit into my plans. So I don't have time to learn how to do this. I just need to start. So I just started, and then when I would get a moment in between, I would start learning how to do it. Or I'd come up to the point where I'm like, okay, I really have to do this now, so I absolutely have to understand it. By taking it just as I went, I made a lot of mistakes and poor decisions that did make it harder. All in all, it was still done so much faster because I just did it, you know, and I learned so much more because I was trying things first before seeking the answer. And here's the coolest part, especially if you're kind of an outside the box person, sometimes you get better ideas than other people, or like better ideas for your hyper specific circumstance, because the internet is trying to be helpful to everybody. You can attempt something with no prior conception of how it's supposed to be done, and you may come up with some way of doing it that actually is like way smarter for your circumstance, and then you can carry that on into the future or even share it with other people. Like for instance, my plastic bin. I actually like that. I'm glad I mixed in that rather than a wheelbarrow. Now I know that. So worth it. Okay, so not ideal, but I got my ledger up. I had this left over from a previous project. You know, I used the rest of it. I bought joist tape, so I can just double this up. Start from the bottom, work your way up. So I'll do 2 layers of this, cover that, and then I'll seam this with a strip of this, put the flashing in, and then I'll put another strip over top probably. Okay, I'm honestly really happy with this ledger flashing that I did. I didn't plan it out very well, but it really came together nicely. I left bare, excuse me, 12 much? I left bare wood behind this. A lot of people put the tape behind it. I just feel like anytime there's plastic to wood, it condensates and actually creates more moisture. Wood to wood, there's at least some ability for air and breathing there, because the whole point is to stop moisture from getting there. I put this thing on and then I taped over it, taped my lines up, which you saw. Then I put this plastic ledger flashing, which comes in these rolls, and you just bend it to shape. Just careful when you're bending it so you don't crack it. And then I taped the top of it all across, and then I put another piece right here to blend these 2 things. And then I put another piece on the bottom to stick it down here. And now, no fasteners, no penetration points, 1 clean taping. You know, when I redo the siding, I'll probably mess with it a little more at that point, but Sheesh, I feel really good about that, honestly. I'm happy with it. All the videos on the internet, one thing people do is like overkill. When you don't know what you're doing, it's like better safe than sorry, sort of. I don't think you really need anything other than what you see.
Tomorrow.
So I'm laying out this landscaping fabric. I'm just gonna bring it out, maybe another row or two, and then cover with mulch and then stone under the deck. So this is what I'm working with now. I laid out the cloth. I just put mulch over the seams to help hold them down so they don't get messed up. I'm putting rock under the deck just because I want that to be like a sterile, dry area. These are the piers I'm going to be using for the steps because it's already over-engineered, really. Keep in mind, I'm not an engineer, so that really doesn't mean anything when I say that. I feel as though I'm doing more than most people. Okay, so I'm quite fond of this little setup I got here. Let my post set, put the post up, and then the brad nailer. Just put a couple nails in, keep it in place so it stays where you want. I still got this little support too, but it gets it exactly where you want, flush, keeps the beam there. Then I just focus on this face, make sure that's straight, which I know it already is because this is, and if it's flush to there it is, but I double checked it. So I'll lock this together and I don't need to worry about this vector of things because once I get this post in, then I'll just suck them together and get everything flush with my whatever this piece is called. So I'm just gonna partially set these in. So about that distance out, it's sunk all the way through the 4x4. I'll put a second one in. I'll do 2 on each of these connection points. That'll lock it together there. These things are just amazing. This is modern technology. You know, in some perspectives, we haven't necessarily gotten our due over the past 75 years, I wouldn't say. In this sense, I think we've crushed it. Why would we be using lag bolts when you could use this? You just impact drive it right in. Got your washer here, goes through, sticks out the other end, connect this little nut onto it, and then it just squanches. So things are starting to come together a bit, but this is sort of my base structure. I gotta put the nails in that base. So my next step is gonna be hanging my joists across. So I'm gonna cut those all to size and I'll be using some joist hanger hardware for that. And then the stringers, I have some stringer hardware for. That's about it though. Thought this would be cool to see. I'm curious what this does. I've never used these before. I didn't watch a video either, so hopefully this is the right thing. That's what I mean when I say don't listen to me, you know. That's amazing. Wow. Okay. Holy shit, that was awesome. Jesus, the modern era is here, dude. So I'm really in grind mode right now. Sorry, it's hard for me to film. Okay, we're back to deck in the dark. Got all my joists in, which I think I said. These awesome little nobulars, totally tubular nobulars, are sick. 2 of them. Well, I don't want to wiggle it too much, but it's really locking that post in. What I really wanted to show is I put this blocking in back here. Originally, I was going to just have my post here, but it would have been too close to the wall. I'm redoing this siding soon. I'm gonna add an inch of insulation. So that 3.5 inches of blocking just buys me a little space so that I can slip something back in between here, etc., which I'm sure I'll be grateful for later. Glad I took the time to do that. Got 3 stringers that I need to cut. I think I'm gonna do that next because it's not having stairs that is really crucial right now. I did a stair calculator. I think I'll have to do some thinking. That's the gist. So I'll cut all these out. Then I'll always trace from the same piece over and over. Don't trace from the last one you did or you'll keep stretching your mistakes.
Tomorrow for sure.
All right, so here's my setup right now. This is what I got going on. I put these piers in. I cut blocks. I cut into the stringers so this sits in. The stringers will still be elevated slightly, and now I'm just gonna put screws in, suck this all together, and then I might tie in the top. I'm not sure. I actually probably won't, just to save time. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to mess with some stuff for a while, but you can get the gist of what I'm doing. I definitely am gonna have to adjust this thing here before I actually get things set. And here I'm gonna put screws in like this, toenailing into the 4x4 there, and that's how I'm gonna connect to that.
We hope you enjoyed this brief construction montage.
Now I am just really enjoying myself on this front porch. I have the vision more clearly now for his idea for the kitchen garden, because I've realized through renovating our house that I am really a visual learner. If Finley tells me the plans, I'm like, honey, I can't see it until I see it, okay? Show me the plans in SketchUp or just start the plan and then I'll be like, oh yes, I see what you're doing now. But there's been like a lot of drainage work, a lot of culvert digging. Rue really likes the new drainage ditches. She's been cockroaching in there all day. She feels like the queen of the world. It's finally happening, y'all. We've lived here for 2.5 years and we've always needed a culvert to cut across our driveway. So all the snow and water runoff that comes down this hill can be piped through the driveway rather than just tearing up all of our gravel constantly. This grate is here because Finley needed to go get some more diesel gas for the tractor to finish doing this work. So pretty innovative up in here. I don't even know what this grate is from. Who's to say? Maybe it's from this trailer. Oh, it is definitely from this trailer. Finley's been putting in some serious work making this 2-terraced garden, and we're gonna have to fell this tree, which I was telling you guys about last year. This is dying of beech leaf disease, which is super common in this area, and so we're just gonna cull it this year because it is only just now starting to bud, but it's also very actively dying. But once all of this is sorted out with some terraces and a nice curvature of the land, oh yeah, we're gonna get some serious plants up in here. I will not be taking credit for any of this work. My husband has been turning our front porch into a nursery, getting everything ready to go into the ground for summer. I will take credit for that though, making a little calendula oil. Nothing wrong with that. It's a really rainy day today. It's been a super rainy spring, which is fantastic for all of these plants. We have lots in various pots waiting for their moment to go into the ground. These are dead cacti though, so just ignore those. We also have a bunch of fruit bushes over here, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, that kind of thing. And my bird bath broke over the winter because my dumbass left it outside and the snow cracked it. So womp womp. Also, Finley got me this gorgeous hydrangea from Mother's Day. Really good stuff. And we're gonna reside our house soon, which is gonna be totally wicked. Just a couple more weeks. This great thing's gonna be gone. He also took a dry stone walling course a couple of weekends ago so that he could build stone walls on our very rocky property. So he's been collecting big rock piles to make like terraced gardens and rock walls and all these things that you will see in the months to come, probably. But also right now we are locked in on making the exterior of our house better. And I'm just so excited for all of the vlogs to come in that arena and to have our friends in town who like have more expertise in that way as well. And you guys know, if you watched my 29 lessons I learned at 29 video / clean with me that I put up before this video, that truly I get by with a little help from my friends. I am so looking forward to our friends being here and showing Finley the ropes on re-siding our house. But I'll probably talk about all of this in like a siding video, you know, because this house is going to look insanely different after it's re-sided and has new doors and windows and all those things. I mean, I truly just can't wait. Like, so much is unlocking in our lives for the house this summer, not to mention all of the stuff on the interior that I haven't even showed you, of different little play spaces. And I'm working on V's bedroom, and that will be a separate video as well that I've been filming over the past few weeks. It's not like I haven't been filming, but I have not been vlogging, and I just feel like I have a lot of different stories to tell right now. So this one is the deck story, and also maybe a couple days in my life of solo parenting. There's an airplane flying overhead if you can hear that. But I'm sure some of you could relate that when you're solo parenting, sometimes it just feels like, damn, I gotta talk to an adult right now. Like, I love my kid, I love hanging out with her, but if I'm just talking to a 2-year-old all day, still getting used to that she's 2. Sometimes it's like, might as well talk to the camera as well. So I'll try to show you some things. You know, it's always a funky line to walk of sharing motherhood while centering it around myself and not centering it around my kid, who I want to keep private. So we'll see what I film over these next few days. But now let's talk about the bathroom, okay? So we did end up having Finley's family come into town for her birthday party this past weekend, and his mom painted like the base coat onto our bathroom while we were doing all of the party prep and Finley was building this deck and whatnot. So very grateful to her for that. I was telling one of my friends at the party, like, I would truly be nothing without my friends and family's help. I just feel like being in my 3rd trimester now, which is crazy to say, of this 2nd pregnancy, my energy is so low. But what I do have, I just like want to give to my daughter. And it's summer, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like I want to nest and decorate and do all these things, but I can't really, like, because of VOC things, paint or do all of those other like sanding tasks of drywall, which I've talked about before, but that's been like a huge thing upon moving into this house that I didn't anticipate, you know, like getting pregnant so fast and not being able to really have that much of a helping hand in a lot of the like renovation parts of things, which is why you guys obviously see so much more fin cam when it comes to stuff like that. But the stuff that I do thrive at is decorating, cleaning, and getting everything in order, you know? So I've been really happy and thriving in that arena because there's so many parts of our house now that I'm like, oh my God. And with the bathroom walls being different, I want to do this thing differently and that thing differently, which I talked about in my Patreon video. Like all of the stuff from living in the bathroom for a year, even though you guys hadn't seen it, like we had all of these things that we were brewing on to change for the final video to where then you'll see it like finished. But when our renovation project's ever actually finished, you know, even when Finley's mom came into town, she was like, I'm gonna have to come back and do more decal sort of work and motifs and beautiful little, you know, mural things on this wall and add more creativity to it. But I can't do it all in one visit, which I never expect anybody to do that, you know. It's actually kind of nice just to have like an ongoing project too that she can come back and work on. Then we have a part of her in our house, and my sister-in-law was also in town for the party and she did some painting in there as well. So now we have like some fun little art from them, which is so lovely. And for those of you who might be wondering, where was your family? I don't know, but I think we might do Hughes Giving here in Vermont because I'm going to have a fresh one, okay? If I'm due in August, we normally go on Hughes Giving trips in September. I'll have like maybe a 1-month-old, you know? So I'm really rooting for that. Unless we take the year off, we honestly are kind of just like talking about all of those things right now. And my sister just visited it in March for my birthday. And my brother and sister, they both live across the country. So there's just a lot right now where it wasn't really like aligning for my family to come up. So I'm very grateful to Finley's family for coming and lending a helping hand with all of the things, party tasks, cooking with me, helping me prep, helping me hang the garlands and all of the things, because we had a dog-themed birthday party for her. She's obsessed with dogs. It was her first word, dog, dog. And not only is she obsessed with our dogs, but truly any dog. And so we just wanted to have that little theme for her. And it was so freaking cute and sweet. And also we had hot dog grilling. So we like grilled out here and brought in all the dogs and had all of the fixins inside and mac and cheese and cupcakes and all of the fun things. I really thought that I was going to vlog ahead of the birthday party, but my life was so insane that I'm just vlogging now and going to share all of the memories with you in pictures and all of the things on the screen as I'm talking about this, because I was really under a lot of pressure, truly. We all were. And I just don't know how we would get anything done without the help of friends and family. So feeling very grateful that we have such supportive peeps in our life. And if you don't have that, I was talking about this with a friend actually at the birthday party. Having friends as family can be a nice replacement, especially if you like are kind of estranged or don't talk to certain members of your family or they're not around. Like for Finley and I, our parents live in Virginia and Georgia. They're not anywhere close by. And even when you have a kid, it's like, sure, they want to come up and spend as much time with the kid as possible. But also like my siblings live far away, like I was just saying too. And everybody's kind of spread out. So when they do come into town, they're like, what can we do? Which is like something I'm so grateful for. But also in the meantime, it's nice to have friends who fulfill that too, for like the day-to-day and just having like trade work relationship. Anyway, I'm getting a little off topic. I have the last topic that I want to cover in this video, which is Larry. So I have been talking about this on my Patreon because I've been getting like opinions and advice and stuff as we've been navigating this. But long story short, Larry tore his ACL. And this is what happened. It was like one of the first warm days of the year. He hurt himself when he was outside. Finley noticed before we were going to bed that he had started limping and was kind of just taking it easy. And we were like, Larry, what the heck? And we thought maybe he either had something in his paw or he was just sore from like, you know, hibernating over the winter and then like going kind of too hard on the first warm day. So we monitored it over a few days and it didn't get better. So we took him to the vet. The vet put him on an anti-inflammatory because they thought it was something to do with his kneecap being inflamed. And they were like, if the anti-inflammatory doesn't work, then bring him back in and we'll have to get a surgery consult for him. And that was already stressful enough, but then they said, but before you get the surgery consult, you have to take him to a cardiology appointment because he has a grade 2 heart murmur. The grade scale is up to 6. And so I was completely spiraling about that, obviously, because he is 10 years old and my baby boy, I've been with Larry longer than I've been with Finley. It was a lot all at once. And so we had to wait for the cardiologist to come in, which she's only coming into the vet's office once a month. And so then we had to wait for that. And then he got cleared to go under anesthesia for a possible surgery since the anti-inflammatory had failed. And then we finally had our surgery consult this past week and they got us in really quick. I was very excited about that, but it is very far away. There is limited options for good surgeons around here with great reviews and stuff like that. So we had to drive him very far and the surgeon was basically like, so it's not his knee, like your vet had told you. He actually tore his ACL. Now he's getting the surgery literally the morning of Thursday when our friends come into town to replace the siding and windows like I was talking about. So that's why I say, you think that this is, we bit off more than we could chew just with the handful of house projects. Yeah, also in our lives, our dog is in need of getting surgery. So that's going to be a whole recovery process. But yes, my patrons have been giving me a lot of advice and tips for surgery and recovery and all of the things. We're going to get him his own little confinement space with a non-slip mat, no stairs. He's going to be recovering from the surgery for 8 weeks. And so he'll be spending his summer, you know, luxuriating in the sun, probably very drugged up to induce his recovery time and not have him be like wanting to get the zoomies or anything. And we'll have to probably keep him and Rue separate because sometimes she tries to egg him on, you know? So there's lots of things to navigate in that arena, but I am feeling good about the surgery. I've actually talked about it to not only people online, but so many people in real life. And I've realized how common it is for dogs to tear their ACL and even more common for dogs to tear both, which is why we can't push the surgery any later than we already have. You know, he's been injured for a while as we wait on these appointments to become available for the cardiologist, for the surgical consult. Anyway, brothers, it's just been like a crazy time. I mean, like one of the busiest seasons of my life. And half of me is like, I kind of thrive in this, but then the other half of me is like, dude, I am so tired and feeling so pregnant already. And I still have like 2 months to go. All of June, all of July. But I'm just gonna be laying in the baby pool, going to all the rivers and streams and taking a dip and enjoying time with friends and getting stuff done on the house and showing you along the way. That's all my updates. And I don't know where this video is gonna lead to, but I just wanted to at least start telling all of my tales. I just need to show you how chaotic packing is right now. I'm just like eating a very quick snack, overnight oats. I'm gonna bring my water. This has a change of clothes for both of us for Zumbini, which I'm teaching later today. And then also our bathing suits in case we wanna go for a little swim, a little dip at the river since it's warm today after we go to story time. I don't really know. She has a snack she's bringing. I also packed some snacks, some hummus and carrots. I have my Zumbini shoes, my Brooks. I have to return this book to the library. And then we have like a sitting blanket and 2 towels and her shoes. And I'm just like, whew, okay, let's pack up the car and hit the road, Jack. We actually ended up not going to story time at the library because by the time I left my house, I was like, oh, it's basically starting. And instead, I just took a bunch of paperwork to the town office that I had been putting off. So brought some things, got a little errand done, and picked up some food along the way so that we would have something if we wanted to go and take a little dip in the water in the river, which I think that we are going to do because we're not going to spend a crazy amount of time there and it would just feel really nice.
It's getting colder on my belly. That was chilly, but it felt really good.
Now she's sound asleep. She settled down.
Hey girl, hey, here's my Zumbini outfit of the day. I know that the bump is bumping in this. It's getting pretty crazy here at 7 months, but I was really digging the fit, so I'm gonna show it off. My socks are the Taylor Geovasis double sole collab. They're like a picnic blanket pattern with pink, but then they have ants crawling up the back, and those are super cute. And then I'm wearing my gray Brooks with some peach on them. And then these shorts, I'll put the brand on the screen that they are, but I have been renting some stuff off of Newly during this pregnancy, which I'm very happy about because it's been just so great to not buy new clothes. Like, I needed maternity biker shorts to teach Zumbini, but I don't want to like buy a bunch of them. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to have my regular black biker shorts. I don't know. I may end up doing that, but right now I'm like just renting these fun little pink ones and trying out pink in my wardrobe because I want to wear more of it. Speaking of which, this is like a Zumba wear shirt, but it's like their Crayola collab that they did. And crop tops can be really hard for me being a big breasted lady. So I also have this very full coverage bra on that can go like even further down, you know, so I could show not any skin. This is from Girlfriend Collective, but I have to give you guys some tea on Girlfriend, and I'm wearing a black headband as well. But I told my sister this because she's a big like Girlfriend Collective fan, or has been over the years, but we had both agreed like the quality has gone drastically downhill. And this bra, when I first got it, and still kind of now, has had this weird like smell to it that has just been like baked into the fabric. And I emailed customer service and they were like, we can issue a credit to your account on Girlfriend, but not a refund, you know? And I'm like, oh, great. Anyway, hi Lair Bear. He came to greet us. I know some of you will be concerned about my Larry dog. Come here, Bubba. Come here. Look at him. I think I said this earlier when I was talking about his surgery, but the doctor is just more concerned about him overcompensating with the other leg and then tearing that one too, because that is pretty common. Like for dogs to have double ACL surgeries after healing the first one, then they just like do the same thing to the second. So fingers crossed that doesn't happen. Please give all of your positive vibes towards my Lair Bear down below in the comments. It was truly a beautiful and fantastic day. We had a nice little swim. Actually, when I went to the river, my friend was there also burning off a little steam and cooling down with her 3 kids before Zumbini. So it was really nice to see her and just like swim and catch up and lay out on our towels together while the kids played with rocks and collected sticks and all of the things. And Zumbini's been going really well. I'm so happy to be doing it at a library. I know I was saying this last summer, but the model is just so much better. Also, sorry for all of the crap behind me. We had to clear everything off of our porch and now it's just there. But construction is underway here and things are going to be happening for a while. So there's probably going to be a bunch of crap in my yard for a month or 2. But it is finally baby pool season, thank God. I was going to get in now, but it's cooling down significantly. It was so shady at class and dude, it's getting pretty hard with a bump this big to do like the jumping. We have a song called Like a Kangaroo where it's just like, what I love the most is jumping, jumping like a kangaroo. And you're supposed to like jump really fast. And dude, I was just like trotting, just like, all right, y'all, I'm feeling it. Okay. Not to mention a lot of people at class are holding their children. So it's like added weight, you know? So sometimes I'm just like, you can just cool off here and lunge or not move at all. Actually, just catch your breath because I know I'm going to be. But yeah, I'm proud of myself that I'm still able to be Zumbini-ing it up this summer. And I am actually planning on teaching postpartum too once I'm like cleared for that. I'm not going to be teaching in late 3rd trimester because that would be crazy. But all of my friends have been like, oh, how have you been feeling? And I'm like, I'm still in that phase of the early 3rd trimester where I'm feeling pretty dang good. So I'm going to be riding this high for as long as possible. Let's go eat some dinner. I don't know what the hell I'm making for dinner, hon. I think there are some leftovers in the fridge, so I'm just going to do that. But I was going to say at Zumbini, I had one of my first students return to class this time, which was so amazing to have her. And then watch your hand. And I also had some of my friends take class for the first time as well. So we had some newbies and some oldies. And after class, I was also talking to one of my friends who is a SPBC, single parent by choice, about, you know, I said to one of my other friends who was in this conversation, like, yeah, I'm having a solo parenting day. And then I looked at my other friend and I was like, you do this every day. And she was like, yeah, but it's different when your expectations are that your partner is going to be there. You know what I mean? Like my kid's in school for like, 9 to 5. So that's very different too, obviously, compared to like my work from home life. I was talking about this with another friend recently. Like I have more in common schedule wise with stay-at-home moms than I do working parents, even though, like YouTube is my job. I am able to just be on that stay-at-home mom life for the most part. And I thank you so much for that YouTube has granted me the stability of making my own schedule, apart from like deadlines for brand deals and stuff like that, for almost 15 years. The leftovers kind of evening. Vivi is having mac and cheese from the Vermont Country Deli, berries and yogurt, her water, her milk, and I'm having leftover steak and fiddlehead ferns.
Early the next morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning, and how do you do? Wow. This mug can fit so much coffee. Claire Tobias on Instagram. Well, you didn't miss much last night. I just took a bath and was editing this video. But I wanted to show you this little temporary play space we have going on here because I've been really enjoying it since her birthday party. I put some chairs around for the party so people could have like a quiet place to play with their kids or nurse or whatever. And we just have this little rug spread out here, a trunk full of stuffed animals and some of her pushy toys and a little dollhouse. And I've just been enjoying it so much in this space, especially in the mornings, just like sitting in one of these chairs, chilling. You want some water? Your water's up at your tower. One little update I wanted to share with you guys is that, well, I'm going to replace this rug eventually because this is not going to be this final form of this space. It's just like what is serving well for this area temporarily, because this is where our new front door is going to be cut in this month. And we'll have like a big door here where the window is with 2 side lights, like these big glass panels on either side. So this will eventually become a mudroom. But right now it's a little kitchen playroom because there used to be a dining table here, but we already have a dining table. We don't need 2. This also is a propane wall heater that just was never safe. So we are just going to rip it out. We just have never turned it on and the connection has been disconnected. And I am not going to show you Vivi's room in this video because it's still a work in progress. I was talking about this in that video, but I'm not moving her in there until the window in that room is replaced because the drywall around it will need to be patched, sanded, and painted. And it's like, why put a baby's crib in a room that's just gonna be, renovated in a few short weeks here. Oh my God. Also, what I forgot to say is that one of my friends is getting rid of her nugget couch. So she's gonna give it to us and I'm gonna put it right here, at least temporarily. It may end up being relocated to her bedroom because I need to be able to sit down on the floor in there too. But I'm feeling good about this idea right now, this setup. Okay, I'm all dressed and we're going to a new playgroup today. This top is from Selkie and I'm renting it on Nuuly. But the best part about Nuuly is all the reviews and people were like, this is not for people with big boobs. And I'm understanding why they said that, but the pattern was just so cute I had to get it. It's also like extremely hard to wear a bra with it, which obviously you're gonna wanna wear a bra with something like this in case you have a Marilyn Monroe moment, you know what I mean, with the wind. So yeah, and then my pants, where did I get these? Cali Sun? Is that what that place is called? No, Mexicali Blues is what it's called. I knew it was something California. I've been wearing these, wait, these aren't the earrings I was gonna say. I've been wearing these like rust colored earrings every single day, but I actually, because I'm wearing the mushroom top, I was like, I should probably wear mushroom earrings. So feeling cute today, and I'm gonna put on my little Dance Go sandals. And we're gonna try out a new play group today that I've heard about but never been to. So I'm looking forward to it, wondering who we'll see there, maybe make some new friends, possibly see some old friends. You never know. What a beautiful day. Bye, water. Oh, I thought there were storks over there, but they're not real. I will say, as cute as this top is, pattern-wise, the straps just don't stay up all day long. I've just been like, do I just rock an off the shoulder ruffle moment? And it's just not It's not it, folks. I should have listened to the girlies in the reviews. But no regrets. I've rented this for the month, so I'll probably be wearing it again, let's be honest. But playgroup was awesome. Really enjoyed going. We'll probably go back. We saw one of our friends from a different playgroup there as well, and it was awesome to see them. We met some new people. It's just awesome getting to go to a space like that and just like meeting the new caregivers. You know, sometimes like grandparents will bring the kids, sometimes the parents will be there, stay-at-home dad moment. You never know who you're gonna meet. So I feel like I already said you never know today. Might bite off my arm, maybe a leg, you never know. That's from That's So Raven, for all you Raven freaks out there. I was a That's So Raven freak when I was younger. And, you know, I still am in some ways. Now I'm gonna try to get a little editing done during nap time, and Larry and I are just getting some cuddling in before his big surgery tomorrow. My little guy. My little donut croissant boy. I'm about 90% sure that someone's getting her 2-year molars, so her nap was very short and she woke up very sad. So I'm wearing her, which I don't normally do while pregnant, because my mom was a physical therapist for 30 years and she always tells me not to double carry. Although she does act as a little bit of a counterweight to my belly. She just wants to be close to me right now. So we're gonna make a smoothie. I just put in a cup of almond milk, a couple spoonfuls of Greek yogurt, a little frozen kale, about 1 cup of frozen strawberries. I eyeball adding in some chia seeds. I normally do either chia seeds or hemp hearts. My favorite chocolate protein powder is not this one. Truvani makes a different one that's a whey protein powder that I enjoy better than the pea protein powder. But this is just what my co-op had, okay? That's fine. We add in like a spoonful of peanut butter. So this is basically a lower carb adaptation of the chocolate covered strawberry smoothie in Remy Ashton's cookbook, Let's Get Cooking. I've been loving the cookbook because I can like swap things out and just choose alternatives that are lower carb, so they've still been good for me. But there are a ton of baked goods in that recipe book that I'm like, if only I could eat this. 1 for Vivi, 1 for mommy. Well, folks, I'm hitting a serious wall at about 3 p.m. So I think that we're going to go to a playground. But first, I would like to get an iced matcha. And sure, I can make a matcha here. But is it gonna be as good as a barista can make it? No. Apple. She really wants to go get an apple from the co-op because they have free fruit for 0 to 12, as well as free cheese. She thinks that we're going shopping, but I don't need anything at the co-op, so I will not be going there, but I probably will be going to get a drink and go play with some kids. Is that what you said you wanted to do? Yeah. That's yummy. Y'all, cheers. God has smiled upon me today. So I have a little story time. When my sister and her BFF were in town at the end of March, around my birthday, we went shopping downtown in Brattleboro, and we went to Beadniks, which is such a cute store. God, highly recommend. And I bought these crow items for Corvidia. And I was like, I don't know, it was like ahead of Easter, so I thought maybe I'll give them to her as Easter presents or put them in her basket, or maybe wait until her birthday. And then when we got home, I was like, where is my Beadniks bag? It's completely gone. It has fallen out of my car or something. I just had no recollection of like where I could have put it. I thought that I tossed it into the trunk of the car, but then obviously I like cleaned out the entire car and it wasn't in there. I ended up posting on the Facebook page for our town and being like, if anybody comes across a Beadniks bag with some crow taro and a little brass crow in it, it's for my daughter. I would love if you could return it. And I genuinely was like, maybe it fell out of my car and then somebody just like took it home. I don't know. But I was always just like, well, that one's a loss. But then we just went back into Beadniks after I got my little matcha latte, unsweetened of course, and it's delicious. And basically the last time I went in and got all of those crow things and lost it, I was sniffing all these perfume oils and was like, well, I don't really wear perfume anymore. I've just gotten very like scent sensitive in my pregnancy and breastfeeding years, my child rearing years. So I don't really wear scents very much, but I was like, like, God, I was so attached to this one called Enchanted Woods. And I was like, if I keep thinking about this scent for the next X amount of time, I'm gonna go back and get it. And I was still thinking about it. So I was like, you know what, we'll just wander in there today. And then I'm talking to the guy behind the counter and I'm like, is this all the tarot that you guys have out? Because I'm looking for crow tarot, you know, long story short. And he was like, wait, did you lose a bag? And I was like, yes, I did. And he was like, someone returned it. And we've been waiting for you to come back in the store. We thought like maybe she's local, maybe she'll return. And I was like, oh my God. I cannot believe that was 2 months ago. You know what I mean? And I was like, my baby's birthday was just this past weekend. Like, this is gonna be like belated birthday gifts for her. And he was like, well, happy freaking birthday. And I was like, what's your name, buddy? And he was like, my name's Craig. I'm like, thank you, Craig. Life is just incredible. Apparently I had left it at the bookstore next door, but never retraced my steps to the bookstore. And then the owner held on to it for quite some time thinking that I would come back to the bookstore to get it, but I never did. So then he was like, I'm just gonna give it back to Beatniks. And thank God he did. I mean, I really have to go into the bookstore. It was closed today. Otherwise I would have gone in just to thank that guy. But I am just like on cloud nine. I feel like every time I come downtown, I just have such a pleasant experience with like random strangers. And we have a car potty now since we potty trained and have successfully broken up with diapers, whoop whoop, for I don't know, like 2.5 months or so now. And so I have a potty that I keep for her in the back of the car, and whoa, my God, I mean, the bass is bumping, brother. When we're out, I'll offer like, do you want to sit on the car potty right now before we get into our car seat so we don't have an accident? Although we do have like a liner in there just in case she doesn't communicate to me that she has to go. But we were sitting on the car potty. I had the trunk open. I was just kind of standing there and these two teens walked by and I was just like, oh, a couple of teens hanging out, you know, noticed them, whatever. And I guess they had passed by me and then one of them had noticed my in-arm monitor for GD. I mean, it has a band-aid over it just like so it's more blended in with my skin, but I have a Libre 3 Freestyle and I freaking love it. A Dexcom, okay? It was double the price to get my Dexcom and this is like half the amount for twice the amount of monitors. It's incredible. And this girl turns back around, one of the teens, and she was like, excuse me, your earrings are so cute. I love them so much. And I was like, thank you, my friend made them, which is what I always say to strangers when I'm wearing subscriber made jewelry, which most of my jewelry is subscriber made. And I was like, yeah, they're really cool. I'm sure like if you went into Beatniks, which is mostly a bead store, you could find maybe some like mushroom ones and make your own. And she was like, oh my God, yeah. Wait, this is so weird, but do you have diabetes too? And I was like, yes, I have gestational diabetes. And I like told her about it and how, you know, your placenta can block the insulin from regulating your glucose. And she was like, I've heard about this. I'm so sorry. And she was like, I have an insulin pump in my leg and then I have the monitor in my arm. I've had diabetes since I was 5. And then we just sort of commiserated about diabetes and how much it sucks. And that was a really pure moment. And then she was like, have a good day, and just like skipped off with her little buddy. You know, sometimes when I see teens walking around town, I'll notice them and or be scared of them, but sometimes they're not so bad. What a hoot of a day. Well, I am really like caffeinated and riding on cloud 9 now, and we're gonna go to a playground. I invited some of my parent friends to meet me in like 10 minutes if they want to, but it was just a last minute like, hey, I'm gonna be here. I'm running on E if you wanna, you know, hang out in the heat, in the shade, on a bench by the park, honey. So we're gonna go do that.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Okay, we're leaving the park. I didn't film there, obviously, because I don't want to be the weirdo filming at the playground, you know what I mean? But 4 of my friends came to meet me with their babies, which was awesome to see them. It was nice, like after work, after school hours, and before dinner, so the park was popping. And I saw another, well, she's a grandma, but I saw this lady there who, when my parents were in town, like a year ago or so, we met these people at a jazz concert and we started talking. I was like, oh yeah, my parents are in town visiting. And I was talking to this guy and he was like, oh, where are they visiting from? And I was like, Alpharetta, Georgia? And he was like, I'm from Alpharetta. And I was like, so am I. And he was like, I went to Centennial High School. And I was like, I went to Centennial High School. And it was just one of those moments where like in my town, meeting somebody who went to my high school, I mean, it was just really, we're very many years apart. He's older than me, so he doesn't even know my oldest brother. Why do I feel like Nene Leaks right now? You're older than my oldest brother, so.
Well, you weren't in high school with me. You were older than my oldest brother, so we weren't in high school.
43 to be exact.
Anyway, it was incredible to see that grandma again with the kid at the park and just talk about, you know, why they moved from Alpharetta to Brattleboro and all that kind of stuff. It's just a small world, brothers. Anyway, I'm gonna look up what restaurants are open right now and head to get some dinner. Vivi and I went on a little dinner date to the marina tonight, and I totally forgot to show you what we ate, but they have like a half chicken on the menu, and then you can get mashed potatoes and whatever seasonal veggie. So we got that, and I gave her the mashed potatoes. She loved them. And then we split the rest of it too, but it was awesome. And I forgot to show the food, and then I realized that I forgot to show it when I was staring at a plate of bones, and I was like, oh no, I've done it again. But I'm honestly so exhausted, I need to go to bed, and I just wanted to show you this before I go to bed, because this is what I'm gonna be reading before I hit the hay. Bergavrick's new book, baby. I'm so excited. I haven't read a gripping fiction in a while, and I've honestly just been listening to a lot of audiobooks and not reading physical books. So I'm gonna start this one tonight probably, if I don't pass out in my bed before then. But I'm just gonna feed my doggies, take them out, take them upstairs, and then I have to take Larry to the surgeon in the morning. He cannot have anything after 11 p.m. because of anesthesia. I'm just now remembering. Finley gets back really late tonight, and I don't want him to take Larry to the surgeon in the morning because, well, honestly, I just want to do it and be with him and stay as long as they need me to, you know? But also I just know that Finley is going to be really tired from a day of travel and that he'll want to spend the morning with V. So that's our plan. I don't know how much I'll film tomorrow, but I'm probably going to continue at least some of this vlog, and I'm gonna hit the hay.
One nap later.
It's the next morning and it's surgery day for my Larry. I just drove him to Lebanon, New Hampshire. Lebanon? I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comments if they know. I slept so bad because of nervousness and just all of the things. I know he's gonna be okay. And this happens all the time. And literally the other day with you on camera, I was like, yep, I'm feeling pretty good about the surgery because, you know, I've talked to so many people about it and gotten so many opinions and people's experiences, and especially with bigger dogs. Like all my friends who have bigger dogs for the most part have had some elderly dog at some point tear an ACL or both. So I know that this happens every day, but because of the heart murmur stuff and the anesthesia and all these things, I'm just like, I hope everything goes perfectly as planned. And I know it will. My little buddy and I are just gonna camp out here for the day. I don't know if they'll tell me to go home and then drive back, or I'll just like be here until he wakes up, but I'm gonna bring him inside and I'll update you when I know more. Okay, the time is about 8 a.m. and you have dog hair on you. I feel like my car just has so much dog hair in it right now because he was a little nervous. But I just dropped him off and it was a very comprehensive pre-op explanation. And his surgery itself, they said only takes about 45 minutes, but the pre-op and the post-op, waking up from anesthesia, all of these things takes much longer. So I dropped him at 8. They want me to pick him up at 2, which is 6 hours away. I did bring my book and my laptop just in case I would be hanging out here for the day. But I honestly think I'm just gonna go back home because our friends are coming later this evening to stay with us for a month and do the siding, and there's other things to prepare for. It's a chaotic time of life right now, but also I just don't really want to hang out in New Hampshire for 6 hours when I could go back home, and V will probably be napping by the time that we have to leave to pick up Larry anyway, so I feel like I'll probably drive back to get him solo, but who knows. The lady who took him back was so nice. Her name's Abby, and she was just easing my worries and being like, we do these so often. It's gonna be okay. I know that you have your anxieties, and, you know, letting me air out all of my concerns and remind her of which leg it was and all of the things. And she's like, you know, it's gonna be okay. So I'm trusting, and I'm going to head back home. And I've been listening to Lena Dunham's new book on the way, Fame Sick, and I've been just loving it. It's really great to hear all of these details of the making of one of my favorite shows, Girls, but also just like hear more about her life and her chronic illness and her relationships, and she's just a great writer too. So I've been really digging it. Okay, it's early and I'm chugging coffee and heading home. This one's for you, Larry.
6 hours later.
Okay, it's time to go pick up Larry boy from his surgery. He did great. I got a call around 10:10, so like 2-ish hours after I dropped him off. And the surgeon said that it went fantastic and that he's very confident in the surgery and the recovery, and that Larry's ACL was completely torn, but his patella and like other tendons and stuff looked okay, but that they caught early arthritis as well in the process. So they like cleaned that up a bit, they said, which I don't know what that process entails, which I'm going to ask about now. But they said that he was like breathing on his own and didn't need the breathing tube anymore pretty immediately upon waking, and that he was doing really well, and I could come get him at 2. So here I am. He's feeling a little delirious, but he's really relaxing into his pettings. And he also got a really handsome handkerchief, as well as this very cool lick sleeve. Such a good boy, Larry. They even put some hearts on his little care bag. They just loved you so much in there, buddy. So I had a very long post-op meeting with the tech who helped the surgeon, and she just went over all the things with me. I have his bag. It has all of our instructions and medications and all of the things, and she printed everything out that she said, and I'm just, yeah, excited to get him home and get back to where he feels a little bit safer. She was like, he was such a good boy, but at the end of the surgery, he definitely did try to get up and walk himself home. And I was like, oh my God. Anyway, I might end this vlog off here because I am very sleepy, and when we get back home, our friends are going to be arriving pretty soon. There's just a lot happening, but definitely send some good vibes for the recovery process and just taking it easy at home with my Lair Bear. I'm very pregnant, so I'm just going to be relaxing with him and just keeping a close eye on him and his lick sleeve and letting it air out. They were like, try to take off the lick sleeve as much as you can. I know, bug. Let's go back home. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And when I'm not on here, I am on Patreon. All right. Stay smiling. Bye, y'all.